My magazine follows generic conventions of a real magazine. As you can see, it includes features like a puff, cover lines, and a main cover line, like the existing example of Exposed magazine. One added aspect is the fact that there is no price or barcode, as this is a regional listings magazine, and existing regional listings magazines are free, so do not require a barcode as they are not purchased. This links into Branston and Stafford's theory of genre and industry in 1999, as a genre is a blueprint for success, as successful aspects are used throughout the product, thus ensuring that in theory, the audience it is targeted for will like it, as they like the features when it was used in another product, so they should also like them in this product. Like many regional listings magazines, including this example one, there's a picture of a person on the front. This person will be famous for something, usually music or TV, so I have decided to use a long shot of my model on the front cover to show that the main focus and selling point in terms of attracting the target audience will be this person. The main cover line anchors with the main image as it explains who it is and why they are significant in this issue, but still keeps it concise. The S1 masthead is related to the image, as the image is in Sheffield and has an S1 postcode, which associates the image with the area and the masthead. I've included these various aspects because they are present within the majority, if not all, regional listings magazines. And in relation to Steve Neal's theory of genre 1980, familiar elements are included within various products. These elements may be presented in different ways, however because of the link between them they are all put under a category. This links to my magazine into the magazine genre because of its codes and conventions. However, to be more specific, it is part of regional listings magazine subgenre. A subgenre is a genre within a genre and was coined by Barry Keith Grant in 1977. So when comparing my magazine to this issue of Exposed, it is evident that our main images are quite different but also share some similarities. As you can see, the model on Exposed magazine has a neutral facial expression, thus portraying that he may be emotionless. However, it could also suggest that he is very professional and takes his work seriously. This contrasts with my magazine front cover, as my model has a happy expression on his face and looks like he is enjoying himself. This links to his profession as an actor, as he will most likely enjoy his job, which is shown through his facial expression. Both models are dressed quite smart but also casual, as the Exposed magazine model is wearing a shirt and the S1 model is wearing a white t-shirt. This also links into being professional and wearing styles of clothing that the stereotypical hipster would wear. This is because the subculture which this magazine is focused at is hipsters, so by representing them through images, then the hipster subculture will be able to identify with the magazine more. This also links into Sarah Thornton's theory of subcultural capital 1995, as if something is deemed as being popular or cool within a subculture, then people associated with that subculture will want to have whatever that aspect may be, so that they are portrayed as being cool. Therefore, if Exposed or my magazine are popular with hipsters, then they will be more successful and the people who work on it will get more money through advertising. Both magazine front covers use the ideal self or partner theory by Carl Rogers, as both models may be seen as attractive, or the idea of working in their profession may be seen as ideal for some people, therefore they are an ideal version of a person when it comes to profession. Both my magazine and Exposed have decided to use an orange house style. The shades we have chosen are very similar, and this may be because it is visually appealing, as well as having positive connotations like happiness, success and creativity. By using this, it will associate our magazines with these aspects and will make them more desirable to own. Exposed then uses a light blue to contrast but also complement the orange used. Blue is present as it connotes trust and loyalty, therefore Exposed can be trusted to give information on events around Sheffield, articles and good quality content throughout, thus making the magazine a lot more popular. I decided to use black and white as my other colours within my house style, as they contrast with each other and help the orange to stand out, overall making a very beautiful mix of colours. White connotes purity and innocence, showing that there aren't any bad or false aspects to my magazine, and black connotes formality and elegance, so my magazine is portrayed as being professional. Linking into the use of colour are the magazine mastheads. Exposed's masthead is in the light orange and is a sans serif font where all the letters are in capitals. It is also encased in square brackets, which may suggest that the exposed information was hidden away and is now being revealed. My masthead is quite simple. It is a box with curved corners which has letters cut out of it saying S1. The box is white and the letters blend in with the background image. I decided to challenge generic conventions of Regional Listings magazine, as Exposed simply uses text, whereas I have decided to use a box instead, which adds slight more creativity and will intrigue the reader when they look at it. The font on my magazine is also sans serif, so it is easy to read even if the reader is far away. The cover lines on our magazines are completely different, as Exposed has them very small and low down in the left third. This takes focus away from them and adds it onto the larger aspects like the main image, so the reader is more likely to focus their attention on that aspect. This contrasts with my magazine as I decided to keep my cover lines quite big, as they do help to attract a reader. I kept mine to the left third, as well as if they are in any other thirds, then they may disrupt the main image and make the magazine look bad. I also included some extra cover lines in the banner of my magazine, so a reader knows what else is in store, but doesn't get given too much information. This will intrigue them and they may want to read on. Both my magazine and Exposed magazine use puffs. These are specific to magazines and can be used to draw readers' attention by showing a competition or just additional information that should be focused on. For Exposed, it is quite small and displays a charity, whereas on my magazine it takes up a good portion of the page and informs a reader that they can win tickets to an event in the month that the magazine is published. This will make the reader want to read the magazine so that they can have a chance at winning the tickets and going to an event. One aspect to mention is that both S1 magazine and Exposed magazine are free regional listings magazines, therefore neither of them will have a barcode. It's a convention of regional listings magazines as they are not sold in stores, so people can just pick up a copy and go without it needing scanning, so there isn't a use for a barcode like there are on other magazines. Firstly, the most evident thing noticed is how different our contents pages look. The typical conventions used are similar, however how they are presented is different. This links into the aforementioned theory of media by Steve Neal in 1980, as the conventions of a regional listings magazine are within both, however these elements are introduced differently. Also, the structure of a contents page fits into Patrick Phillips's theory of comfortable reassurance in 1996. This refers to a consumer getting a product associated with a specific genre and then expecting what will be present. A consumer is reassured when they see familiar features present in a product in a genre. When a reader opens up my magazine and goes to the contents page, they will see a table of contents, images, an editorial, and even simple aspects like folio will give them comfortable reassurance as they will receive what they expected. Similar features used in both are the use of a table of contents and a letter from the editor. This aspect is incredibly common in regional listings magazines, so I included it in mine, like Exposed did. My magazine style is completely different to Exposed on this page, as I use a more urban themed style by using a wall covered in graffiti as my background, with a table of contents and the editorial in semi-transparent boxes. Exposed uses a more casual yet professional look by using white, black and blue as its colour scheme. The text is positioned in columns neatly and images are well spaced apart. I kept mine neat but actually created some form of guidelines to show the different pieces of information. The table of contents is on the verso page and images associated with certain articles as well as the editorial are on the recto page. I decided to use white as the main colour on this page as the orange and black in my house style wouldn't work with the background whereas white does. It makes it easy to read and visually appealing, so white was the most prominent colour. Both my magazine and Exposed use images associated with articles and page numbers to show what page they are on. This aspect helps readers find out what articles they may want to check out first if that part interests them. The editorial is a part of the contents page where the editor writes to the readers telling them what is present in the issue. This aspect will be read by the reader and they will decide which sections of the magazine sound most interesting. They will then either skip to those parts first or read through it, normally depending on their personal preference when consuming it. Something to note is the use of contact details. Exposed uses a large text box with social media links, a website and a phone number. It is almost like they are telling the reader to go and check out their social media, as Exposed seem to want more publicity and an online footprint. I decided to include a website address in the area where folio is common. It is positioned nearby the contents page number, therefore it isn't in the way of any information and can be easily accessed by a reader as it is clearly visible and is present in a place which is not difficult to find. As the adverts in our magazines are for different products, they include different aspects, however they still follow a general trend in construction. My advert is for the showroom workstation. I focus primarily on the cinema aspect as I inform the reader about the location, what is on in October and contact information. Exposed magazine is using an advert for a club called Foundry, which is quite popular and hosts many live performances. It also includes various events, times that the events are on and contact information. My advertisement uses a similar aspect to the Foundry advert as we both include the logo or something associated specifically with that place in top left corner. This makes it easily visible and a consumer will notice it almost straight away after turning the page, therefore they will remember it and recognise it if it is used elsewhere. My advertisement for the showroom uses the exact same colour scheme as their website. This means that when a reader gets to this page, they will recognise that it is a showroom advertisement even before they start reading the information. I use grey and a turquoise green colour as well as white text for my advertisement to make sure that all the information is easy to read. Also, the fonts are similar to those used on the website, as the website seems to use a sans serif font which looks quite modern, so I decided to use Arial Black to pastiche the style of the website into the advertisement. The colour scheme for the Foundry advertisement is an assortment of blues and white text, so a similarity between our adverts is the use of white text due to it being visually appealing and easy to read. The Exposed advert uses a similar font to mine, as it is bold looking and everything is in capitals, so this seems to be a theme for social places within Sheffield. On both advertisements, contact details, social media and location seem to be key parts, as contacting, getting an online presence and visiting the place advertised is why the advertisers advertise in magazines. By including these aspects and making them obvious as well as easy to read, increases chances of the advertised place getting more publicity and visited by more people overall, giving them more money, so informing the consumers on how to get there is very important. When doing research for my magazine billboard, I searched for regional listings magazine billboards. However, I failed to find more than one billboard, therefore I decided to look at the general conventions of all billboards to get some information, as well as use my own creativity to make it unique. The most prominent aspect of a billboard is the colour scheme and why it is used. I found that red was used on various billboards. This is for two reasons. Firstly, red may be associated with the brand, so when a consumer sees the billboard, they will associate the brand with the billboard due to the use of a red colour scheme. Secondly, red is an eye-catching colour, so as people pass by the billboard, their attention will be drawn to it, so they will read it and may be interested in it depending on the topic. Billboards will be passed by quite quickly, as people may see them as they make their way to work or university, so they will only get a glimpse, therefore it needs to stand out. Although red is an effective colour, I decided to challenge conventions of billboards by not using red as my primary colour. Instead I used white, as it fits with the house style of the magazine, as well as the logo being white, so using white for other aspects is effective with figuring out complementing and contrasting colours. For my billboard I decided to use a wall as a background, as it implies that the S1 magazine masthead is graffiti and has been put onto a wall to advertise that a new issue is out. This links into Sheffield, as Sheffield has lots of graffiti in the town centre and around that area, so the magazine is associated with that place through the background of the billboard. I also found that billboards don't include much text, as people passing by may not have much time to read a block of text, or may not attempt to read it, as masses of text will make a consumer lose interest quickly, therefore they will not pay attention to what is being advertised. So for my billboard I added only a few words which can be easily read up close and from a distance to ensure that people will read it when they walk or drive by. For my website I decided to focus on Now Then magazine's website to see what the layout is like and compare which features I will include and what features I will use that aren't on that website to make mine unique. Firstly, I like the idea of having a background image which links to the magazine, as Now Then do this and it makes the website more unique. Now Then changed the background each month to fit with the current issue, however I've decided to use an image gallery which goes along various images associated with this issue instead of just a single image. Like Now Then, I also wanted to make sure that the masthead is one of the focuses on the website, so when my magazine is loaded up, the first aspect noticed will be my magazine masthead. Therefore my website and my magazine are linked together and the consumer will recognise the masthead from looking at magazines, or if they find the website first, they will recognise the masthead from the website. My website is similar to Now Then's website when it comes to house style, as both use white, greys and blacks as the main colours for boxes, text and the top bar are white, grey and black. I use this style on my website as my house style also consists of white, grey and black. This makes both S1 and Now Then look professional and formal, as well as visually appealing, as the monochrome colour scheme is nice to look at and all the colours complement each other. At the bottom of the page on the Now Then website there is a contact information section, as well as names of people and businesses who contributed to the magazine. I use this idea, however I modify it as I name two specific contributors and mention their significance in this issue, as well as have contact information in its own specific section giving a phone number, address. Unlike the Now Then website, I've decided to include a playlist for consumers to use. This links into the issue as it plays music by bands or singers mentioned in this issue, as well as music that the target audience may like, thus catering the website more towards the hipster subculture, as it gives users access to listen to music they may have heard or might enjoy if they haven't heard it before.